So, welcome to online training session day 3, in which I am going to cover 2D meshing. This is the day 3. We have covered day 1 and day 2, that is theory of FEM, and 1D meshing we have done. Now we will see 2D meshing, and in the next online training session we will cover 3D meshing and so on. So the topics which I am going to cover in this training session are opening and saving file, how to open and save a file, working with panels, different panels available in HyperMesh, how to use them. Then organizing a model, if you're going to do the analysis on the assembly, then how to organize the model in different components and geometry and elements, how to segregate them. Then how to import and repair the CAD geometry in HyperMesh itself. Then we will see how to generate a mid surface. There are different options available in HyperMesh through which you can generate mid surface. Then we will see how to simplify the geometry to improve the mesh quality. So if there are small fillets, small lines, small surface edges, so we can remove them to simplify the geometry. Then we will see how to refine topology to achieve quality mesh. So in this we are going to discuss if there are small points or very small distance surface is there, so we can remove it to get a good meshing quality. Then auto mesh panel available in HyperMesh for 2D meshing, how to use that, what are the different parameters available in auto mesh panel, 2D auto mesh panel. Then there are few different options also available in HyperMesh through which you can go for 2D meshing via, if you don't have any surfaces, so with the help of lines or nodes you can also create the meshing, that is elements you can create. So we'll see also that. Then we will see how to do 2D meshing in a curved surface area. There are some options available through which you can do 2D meshing in curved surfaces. Then checking and editing the mesh. So lastly we will see how to check the elements quality and how to edit them. I have used in this training session, I am using all the tutorials available in HyperMesh help file. So many people ask me about the geometries which I used, so that's why I use the same geometries, that's why I put the names. So you can find this all these tutorials which I am going to show you today on the help file, so that geometry also you can able to find it out. So you can start practicing back your home at your own pace with the help of those geometries. So we will start with the opening and saving file tutorial. So in this tutorial we will learn how to open a HyperMesh file, how to import a file into a current HyperMesh session, then how to save a HyperMesh session as a HyperMesh model file, then how to export all the geometries to an IGES file from HyperMesh, how to export all the mesh data to an OptiStruct input file, that is FEM file, then how to delete all the data from the current HyperMesh session, how to import the IGES file, how to import an OptiStruct file, that is FEM file, to current HyperMesh session. So these are the things which we are going to see in this first tutorial. So let's start with this first tutorial. So I'll open HyperMesh. So first of all we will open the first file. So to open the file in HyperMesh, you can use this open button or go to file, open, model. So there are two options available in HyperMesh to open the file, HM file. So I'll use this one and browse the file. That is the first tutorial, and I will open the bumper mid1.hm file. So in this way you can see my HM file is being imported. My HM file contains both geometry and meshing as well. So this is the geometry, and if I off the geometry, this is the meshing. So my HM file contains both geometry and meshing. Then we will see how to import HyperMesh model file into HyperMesh current session. So to import the Hypermesh model file in the current session, we have two options. So I will show you that. First is you can import from this icon. You can click on this icon to import it, or you can go to Files, Import Model. So this will allow you to import the Hypermesh file. Or this time I will use this one. So from Dropbox, I will import model. Click on the browser, and I will import the bumper mid HM file and click on import. So you can see this, I will close it, and on the model browser you can see a new component has been added and is being imported in my current session. This is my session. So in the current session, one more HM file I have imported. Then we will see how to import IGS file into the current Hypermesh session. So now we will see how to import the Hypermesh file. So again, to import the Hypermesh file, we have the same option. Either you can click on this icon or go to File, Import. So go to Dropbox, select Import Geometry. This will help you to import these many extension files. So we'll select IGS, click on the Select File, Browse Location, and select the file available in Hypermesh tutorials, that is bump_int.igs. Open and say import. So once you click on import, you can see only the geometry file has been imported. If I click close on the component browser, you can see if I off the meshing, so this file contains only geometry, no meshing. But all these component contains elements also, that is meshing also. But the last one, that is only the geometry, contains the last one contains only the geometry. Then we will see how to import the FEM file in Hypermesh session. So again, the same panel. This time we will select Import Solver Deck. So to import the FEM file in the Hypermesh session, you can select Import Solver Deck, browse the file, and open the FEM file and say import. So now you can, if you click close, we'll click on the close, and you can see I have imported the meshing also for the last part. So if I click here, so you can see I have imported the meshing also. So in this way I have imported, I have opened the Hypermesh file, I have opened the imported the model, we have seen how to import the IGS file and FEM file, which contains only the elements. Then we will see how to save the file, how to save the HM file. So we'll go to File, Save As, Model. I will create a new folder here as Practice, and I'll name it as Practice. So in this way you can see my tutorial 1, my practice.hm file has been saved. Now we will see how to export only the IGS data in one single file from Hypermesh. So if you want to export only the geometry of a particular model which you have created or edited using Hypermesh, how you can do that. So to export the geometry, you can click on this icon or go to File, Export Geometry. Select the file type as IGS. Save the location, browse the location, create a file there. So I create a same practice.igs and save. Select the export option to all, units as mm, and all the other options as default, and click on export. So once you click on export, you can see on the folder location my new IGS file, which contains the geometry of my component, has been exported on the folder, as you can see here. Now we will see how to export the FEM file only, which contains all the elements, everything, how to export that. So again we'll click on this icon. This time we will export the solver deck. Solver deck means it contains all the information related to elements, nodes, loads and boundary condition, load step, material, property, everything it will contain. Select the file type as radios, bulk data format. Save the location where you want that file. So I want the file in the same location. And click on save. Select the export option to all and keep all the other parameters as it is and say export. So again, once you click on export, you can see we have imported a FEM file here which contains only the meshing. So now we'll delete this and we'll check whether I have proper geometries and all. So again I will click on open. This time I will open the HM file. So you can see it contains all meshing, nodes, elements and surfaces, everything. So it contains everything in this, the HM file. Now again I will click new, go to import geometry and import the practice.igs file. So you can see the practice.igs file contains the complete geometry. You can see here. It doesn't contain any meshing, nothing. It contains only the geometry portion, these surfaces. No meshing is available. Now in the same model I will import the meshing 2. So I will select the FEM file which I have exported earlier. So now you can see these are the meshings. So if I click on these icons, so you can see these are only the elements. So you can import either only the elements and surfaces only also. If the file size is too big, so you can segregate it with the elements and surfaces. So in this way you can import, export, save the file in Hypermesh session. Now we will move to the next tutorial, that is working with panels. In this tutorial we are going to see how to use the entity selector and the extended entity selection menu to select and unselect nodes and elements from the graphic area. Then use the direction selector to define vectors along which to translate nodes and elements. Switch between different entities to select and methods to define vectors. Toggle between two options, how to do that. Enter, copy, paste and calculate the numbers. Use the rapid menu functionality to execute commands with the mouse buttons rather than clicking the buttons. Interrupt but not exit a panel to go to another panel by using keyboard function keys. So these are the options you will see in the next tutorial. So I will click new and open the second tutorial file. I will off the systems here. These are the systems. I will off this so that my model is quite visible. So you can see this is my model, in which I am going to show how to work with different panels available in Hypermesh. So firstly we will see how to select the nodes and deselect the nodes. So we'll open any option. So let's see, let's suppose we open the translate command. To select the nodes you can just left click on it, so it will get selected. White color circle will show that the nodes are selected. If you left click from your mouse, if you right click on it, it will get deselected. Or you can click on this reset button to deselect all at once. Also, if you press shift plus left mouse button and drag a window, so in between that window all the nodes will get selected automatically, you can see here. And again if you left press shift and right mouse button and drag a window, so it will get deselected all. So there are two options, window and this. Shift left click, drag it to select, shift right click and drag it to deselect. Then to select and deselect the elements, the process is same. You can from the drop box select the elements, or you can manually pick the elements to select it for the purpose, or you can manually right click on it to deselect. You can click on reset option to deselect all. Shift left mouse button, drag to select all, or deselect a particular which comes under this box. So these are the different options to select and deselect the elements. There are some different options available in Hypermesh to select and deselect the elements with the extended entities like this. So I will describe only which one by one, which are the most commonly used. So first is by window. So you can create a window and draw a point and say select entity, so it will get selected. You can click on displayed, so it will select the displayed elements. So you can see currently it's 436. So now I will off some of the elements like this. Again, if I click displayed, so it's only selecting 244, that is at the bottom you can see it is selecting only 244 elements, that is the displayed one. But if I click on elements and say all, so it will select all the 436 which I have off. So it also selects the which I have off the component elements. So in this way you can select the different elements. Also you can select it by collector. So particular collector elements you can select. So in this way it will get selected. Also, if you select some elements, you can save it, and if you go to different panel, and you can retrieve those elements which you have saved in some other panel. So in this way you can select save the elements and again retrieve it to some other panels for a different use. Then there are some visualization options, like if you click on this, so this is the line mode of the elements. You can see here, I will off the geometry, also the load collectors. So this is the line mode of the elements. Then if you click on this, this is the shaded geometry or shaded mode of those elements. Then if we want to measure a distance between two nodes, how can we do it? So there is one shortcut as F4. If you press F4 from your keyboard, you can measure the distance between two nodes. So element contains the node, so I can measure the distance between these two nodes. So the distance between these two nodes is 108, or any two nodes the distance is 25.075. You can also change it from here. If you want the distance to be 20, it will get changed. So you can see this distance is now 20, so element has moved a little bit. Similarly, on the surfaces, for the surfaces, surface contains the points, so you require the distance between 2 points. So select the 2 points and you can select it, it will select the distance. But you cannot change the distance with this option. So you can just measure the distance between 2 points, that is the length of this, but you cannot change like elements. So these are some options available in Hypermesh to select, deselect, measure the distance. Again I will click new and we'll move to the next tutorial, that is organizing a model. So in this tutorial we will see how to create geometry and organize it into different components, organize elements into different components, rename some components, identify and delete the empty components, delete the geometry lines, reorder the component in specific order, renumber all the components, and as starting with ID number 1 and incrementing it by 1, create an assembly, how to create an assembly, and how to organize the constraint. So these are the things which we will cover, which I am going to cover in this third tutorial. So for the third tutorial, again I will open the file. The same file I will open. Again I will off this. So I will show you how to create a component in Hypermesh file. So to create a component in Hypermesh file, you can either click on this icon or you can right click, create component, or you can go to collector, create component. So there are 3 options available from where you can create the components. So I will use this one. I will create one component like geometry, give him a specific color, or say yellow one, and say create. In the component you can see a geometry as a new component has been created. It does not contain anything, so it gets created. Now as this one is the bold one, so all the things which I create, the meshing, the lines, whether it is related to geometry or related to element, will move directly towards this component because this one is highlighted. So I will show you, I'll show you how to create the lines. So go to geometry page. In geometry page, click on lines, select the second option, that is linear nodes. Pick any 2 nodes and say create. So it will create a line, that is geometry line. And as you can see, the color of the line is yellow. That means it is going to a geometry component. So this one is bold, that's why all the things went to this particular component. Similarly, if I make any one as the current, so I will make this one as current, and again I will create line. So you can see the line got the color of rigid, so it went to a rigid. Similarly, I make this as the current, so it gets the color of this component, so it's in this component. If I off this, the line gets also off. Similarly, rigid, if I off, this one get off, this one get off. So it's going, the line is going to the component which is currently highlighted. So always check which component is current if you are working on multiple components. Then we will delete the line because they are we don't require. So we'll click on delete icon, elements to line, and just select them and say delete. Now we will move. We have some surfaces in different components, as you can see here. If I off the meshing, you can see. So you can see here, this is being created. They are in different components. So now I will organize all these surfaces in one single component. So how to organize it? So either you can press Shift F11 from your keyboard to enter to organize panel, or go to tools, organize. So these are the 2 options available through which you can organize it. So we need to organize surfaces. So from drop box, I will select surfaces. I will select surface to all. So it will select all the surfaces. I will select the destination component as geometry and say move. So now all my geometry is in. So if I on this, so no geometry is in these components. All the geometry is in geometry component. So in this way, we can move the geometry in one single component. Now we will see how to move the elements in one single component. So that is also possible. So now I will on the meshing. And again from the same tools, organize, I will select elements. Say elements by collector. I don't want rigid elements to move in single component. So I will select all these apart from the rigid one and select the destination component, say center, and click on move. So now you can see if I off this and the rigid one. So these three components doesn't contain any meshing or elements. So everything I moved in the rigids contain the rigid elements. This contains the geometry and this contains the element. Now we will rename it as shells. How to rename a particular component? So to rename it, right click on that component and select rename. We will rename it as shells. Now we will see how to identify the empty components and delete them, because to handle these many components it will be very tough and tedious work. So how to delete the empty components, because there are some components which are empty. So go to delete panel. From the drop box select comps and click on preview empty. So once you click on preview empty, you can see at the bottom it is showing 3 entities are empty. It has selected the empty components which doesn't contain either surfaces nor meshing. So we will click on delete entity. So these components will get deleted, as you can see. Now how to renumber the component, that we will see. So the component numbering is 1, 5, 6. So how to renumber them like 1, 2, 3, 4. So it will be easy for me to see the numbering. So to renumber the components, go to tools, renumber. From the drop box select components, click on the components and select all the available components. Enter the start with as 1, increment by 1 and say renumber. So now you can see it renumbers the component like 1, 2, 3. So these are the options through which you can make the current component. So no one is bold, so no one is the current one. So if I create any, now if I create any line, so it will create a different component for it. So if you just select any two nodes and say create, so see, you can see my hypermesh session will create a new component to create that line. So I will delete this component and make this as the current, and then if I click, so it will move that line to the geometry component. I will delete this line. So always make sure your any component must be bold so that it is perfectly created. Also in the similar way you can move the load collectors from one load collector to another. So in the load collector you can see it has created the loads. We already have the loads, but my loads and constraints are in the same load, so we need to create a different one. So I will create one as constraint, define a color, say create. So with the organize panel, tools organize or shift F11, you can select from the drop box as loads, select the load, destination component as constraint and say move. So it will move down. So now you can see this contains the loads, this contains the constraint. Earlier it was in the same load collector, but now we have moved it to two different load collectors. So in this way, you can define different components and start working with that. So now I will click new and we'll move to a next tutorial. How to import and repair CAD model. In this tutorial we will see how to delete trimmed surfaces, how to close the missing surfaces, set the cleanup tolerance, equivalence free edges, delete duplicate surfaces. So the benefits of this importing and repairing of the CAD are correcting any errors in the geometry from import, creating the simplified parts needed for the analysis, and meshing a part all at once, ensuring proper connectivity of the mesh, obtaining a desirable mesh pattern and quality. So these are the benefits of importing and repairing a CAD model. So for this, I will import so if you click on the shaded geometry, this one is for the line. So you will only see the lines, but if you click on this shaded geometry, you can see the geometries also. Okay, so I've opened the HM file, which is available in help. Then first we will see how to view the model in topology display, toolbars and shaded mode to evaluate this integrity. So we will see that. So this is the line mode. So click on the visualization. You can see there are different color lines. So we'll see what are the meaning of these different color lines, that is red color, green color, yellow color lines. So we'll see the significance of all these lines. So click on the visualization. So you can see all these checkbox are ticked. So the first one contains the free edge. If you untick it, so it will not show you the red color edges on your model, but they will be present. It is not just showing it. So red color edge means the red color edge contains only one surface. So if you are having a solid geometry, then it should not have a red edge anywhere on your model. That means your geometry is not connected. Or if you have a 2D model, so at the outer or at the holes location or at the bold location, if the red edge is there, it's okay. Then we will see the shared edges. So shared edges means that particular edge is sharing two surfaces. So if you are using solid geometry, then means they have to be shared edges. Then suppressed edge means those are the suppressed one on that particular surface. You can retrieve it at any time whenever you want. Then non-manifold means those surface contains three or more surfaces passing through that particular edge. So non-manifold edge means on that particular edge three or more surfaces are passing. So if it is a T-junction, then having a non-manifold, that is yellow color edge, is okay. But if it's not a T-junction, that means either the surface is duplicate or there is any other geometric issue if you are seeing the yellow color edge. So we will see how to solve them one by one. So I will again on this. So you can see we will go one by one. So this is the extended surface. You can see at this location. This is the extended surface here. So we will see first how to edit the geometry to make it perfect. So this one is not a perfect geometry. This is the error here. So first of all, we will go to geometry, surface edit, or press Shift F9 from my keyboard. That is the short key of surface edit panel. Go to trim with lines, select this surface because this is a single surface. Normal to the surface, toggle it down. Select the line for which I want to trim it. So I have trimmed this surface. Then I'll go to delete panel and delete this extended surface. But it is still showing the red edge. So to remove this red edge, I will join these two edges. So to join these two edges, click on quick edit panel on the geometry page or press F11 from your keyboard. Go to toggle option, enter the tolerance value as 0.1. Why tolerance value as 0.1? Tolerance value stands for the distance between two edges. So if the distance between two edges is less than 0.1, so it will stitch those two edges. If it's greater than 0.1, it will not stitch those two edges and will put the error. So I will select it here. So you can see if once you click it, it will join those two edges, those two free edges. But in this side, if you can see, this is also a free edge. So, but the surface is missing here. You can see the surface is not available. So if you click here, it will show that the edge is very large. So it will not fill this gap. So to fill this gap, we have one more option. Go to filler surface. So you can click on this to fill the surface here. So in this way, this is done. Now there are other options also available to fill the gaps. So now we'll move to the next. So here also you can see this is a gap, the back line you can see. So this is also a gap. So we will see the other options available in Hypermesh to fill these surface gaps. So you can go to geometry page, surfaces. In this, select rule panel, select the first line, click on the line list and select the second parallel line to that and click on create. So once you click on create, surface will get created, but it is still showing some red edges, so we can directly toggle them. So go to F11, toggle and enter the value as 0.1 and toggle them. Similarly here also we have to toggle it because it's not a gap, it's just the connectivity is not proper. I can also change the color of the component so these lines will be more visible, so you can see. Now this is a bigger gap here, so if I click here, you can see it will stitch this. Similarly on this side, on this it will stitch it. Similarly with this one, again here also. So in this way, I have removed all the red edges on this geometry and make it connected. So I will again cross check it whether I have removed all or not. I will off all these and only check the box free edge and make it in align mode. So on the model browser or on the GUI, you can see there are no red edges available on my model. So if I on these, so here, these are the free edges, suppressed edges, non-manifold edges are available, but no free edges. Now we will see about the non-manifold, whether they are at the T connection or not. So I will on this. So now you can see this is not a T junction. So I will go to mask panel, pick the surface and say reverse. So you can see it is not a T connection, but still it is showing the yellow color edge. That means it is a duplicate surface. So there is a duplicate surface. So if I do the meshing here, the elements will get duplicated, and thus this particular region will get maximum strength due to the material properties which are assigned to the element. So I always make sure in my model we should not have a duplicate surfaces. So I will select the delete panel and just simply delete this. So once I delete, you can see if I click on unmask all, so this thing is, it will get converted into green. You can see here. Similarly, this one, this is also a duplicate surface. That's why it's showing the yellow color edge. If I deselect, so you can see this is a yellow color edge. That means it's a duplicate surface. So if I click on delete, it will get converted into a green color edge. So in this way, we can edit those geometry errors on my geometry while importing it. Also, we have auto cleanup option on geometry, auto cleanup, on which you can select the elements at once, keep the edit parameters as it is, and the criteria as the default one, and just click on auto cleanup. So once you click on auto cleanup, it will by default will remove the unnecessary surface edges. So you can see earlier it was showing some green color lines here, so now it has removed. So these blue color dotted lines are the suppressed one. So if I select the surface, so it will be selected at once. If I make it toggle, so now they are two different surfaces. So suppressed edge means they are just suppressed. I can again suppress them. So in this way, I have edited the geometry. Also, there are some points which are unnecessary on this geometry. So these are the points we have to remove. So to remove these points, click on add remove of the quick edit panel. On the quick edit panel, geometry quick edit, click on add remove, right click and deselect all. So it will get deselected. So your geometry should not have any unwanted nodes, because from the nodes my software will generate a mesh. So in this way we have ended with this tutorial. Now we'll move to the next tutorial, that is generating mid surface. I will click new. So in this tutorial we are going to see how to create a mid surface and how to visualize the mid surface by using shading, options and transparency. So now we will see how to create a mid surface to do 2D meshing, because we cannot do 2D meshing on the solid geometry, 3D geometry. Otherwise, if we provide the thickness, so my geometry dimensions will change. So that's why we cannot do 2D meshing on a 3D model. We have to create a mid surface that is a 2D model, and then we do the meshing. So when we provide the thickness to 2D elements, it will capture or simulate like the 3D elements. So we will see how to create the mid surface. To create the mid surface, I will open the model, that is clip underscore mid surface. So this is the same geometry which I edited earlier. I will again change the color and show you the options available in HyperMesh to create the mid surface. Sometimes it comes as like this. So if you see this model like only the lines, so click on this to see the surfaces. This is the shaded geometry and surface edge panel. So go to geometry, mid surface to create the mid surface. So to create a mid surface, go to geometry, mid surface panel. There are two main options available to create the mid surface. First is auto mid surface. So if you click on this, if it's an enclosed volume, then only it will pick all the surfaces, that is the closed solid, and say extract. So once you click on extract, you can see here it creates the mid surface. So this is the middle surface of it. So if I off this main geometry, it will create a new component as mid surface. So now you can see there are some red edges around the hole. So as I told you that these red edges are perfectly okay because they are at the edge, and this is a single surface. It is not a solid. So you can see it creates a mid surface. I will check with the distance panel whether my software created exactly a mid surface or not. So I will check the distance between these two. So I will again press Shift F4 from my keyboard. From this point to this point, the distance is 0.45. Again, from this point to this point, the distance is 0.45. So my software created exact mid surface of this particular geometry. Again, I will show you a different panel for the mid surface. I can off this transparency. Now, sometimes due to the complexity of the geometry, sometimes the software doesn't understand where exactly the mid surface lies of that particular geometry. So you can create the mid surfaces manually. So check these two boxes, that is combine with adjacent plates or combine all adjacent plates, and you can start creating it by selecting the surfaces. So this is the first surface and the second, and say extract. So it will create a mid surface automatically. Similarly, this one and this one, and say extract. Or you can pick the other way. So now if I make it in transparency, so you can see I have created a mid surface manually too. So the manual option is also available to create the mid surface. So you can see in this way you can create the mid surface. So this is the middle surface which we can create to do the 2D meshing. Then we'll move to the next tutorial. Now we will see how to simplify the geometry. The options available in HyperMesh to simplify the geometry, like how to mesh the clip, that is the model, review the mesh quality and determine the features to be simplified, then remove the surface fillets, surface edges or pinholes, how to do that. We will see this in this tutorial. So now I will open the next tutorial file. So this is the mid surface file. Now we will first do the meshing on this model. So to do the meshing, 2D meshing, go to 2D, auto mesh panel, select this surface and say all. So it will select this surface also because this is also available. So I will deselect it and say, I will off this and say displayed. So it will select only the displayed one. Enter the element size, say 2.5. Select the mesh type as mixed. From this, select automatic to interactive. Verify that the element is to surface component. So it will be moved to the surface component. order is first order and click on mesh. So once I click on mesh, it will generate the meshing. Now I will say return to accept this mesh, which it has done. Now I will see the elements quality. So to check the elements quality, go to tools, check elements, select the radio button 2D, select the length as 1 and click on length. So you can see many elements are there whose length is less than 1 mm, and some of the elements are having the length of 0.000012 mm. So it's very less. So now we will see how to edit those and improve the mesh quality by changing some of the features of the geometry. We will see that. So I will delete this meshing first. So go to delete panel, elements, and say all and click on delete. Now we will see how to edit the geometry. So I will go to geometry and click on defeature panel, third column, third row. We will start with the pinholes. So I will click on the surface displayed and enter the dia field to be greater than less than 3 mm. So all the surface pinholes, the holes which are having the dia less than 3 mm will get selected. So these are the 4 holes which are having the dia less than 3 mm. That's why the meshing is not getting proper. And click on delete. So once I click delete, you can see it will get deleted automatically. Then we will remove the surface fillets. So there are some small fillets are there. We will remove them. So we'll select the second option as surface fillets. Click on the find fillet in selected surfaces displayed. Enter the minimum radius to be 2 and maximum radius to be 15. That is okay. Click on find. So it will find all these fillets who's having a radius range of 2 to 15 and say remove. So it will remove all the surface fillets as you can see and create the sharp edges. So as my failure locations are not the surface fillets, these surface fillets, so that's why I remove those. Then we will see the edge fillets, the smooth edge fillets, the shorter ones. Click on the surface, say displayed. The minimum radius I will enter as 1. Maximum radius will enter as 20 and will enter the angle as 15 and say find. So it has found somewhere around these fillets. So these are the fillets which comes under this category, and then we will click on remove to remove those. So you can see it has removed these surface fillets. And now lastly we will again do the meshing and check with the elements quality. So again go to 2D, auto mesh, surface displayed. Keeping all the parameters as it is, I will click on mesh, return. Again I will click on return. Go to tools, check elements and check the length. So now you can see only 4 elements are failing due to the length criteria, which is having the minimum length as 0.4 mm. Earlier the length was very less. So by changing some of the features of the geometry, even with the auto mesh panel, I can get a good mesh quality. So in this way we have ended this tutorial. Now we will move to the next tutorials. I will click on new here, and we'll move towards the next one, that is refining topology and to achieve a quality mesh. So in this tutorial we will learn how to mesh the part to determine poor element quality, suppress small edges, split the surfaces so to get the proper surfaces to do the auto mesh, remove the interior fixed points, replace closely placed fixed points, that is surface points, create the final mesh. So in this way we will learn the different options to remove these topological to do the topologically refining. So I'll again click on open this file. So this is the file which I have edited. Still I am getting some of the errors in this meshing, so I will remove those. So first we will do the meshing with the same parameters, say displayed and say mesh. Keeping all the parameters as it is, we have done the meshing, and we will check the length. So I'll go to tools, check elements and length. So my elements are failing in the length, 4 elements are failing. So we'll remove the short edge by combining fixed points. So they are getting failed. So these are the areas which are getting failed. So they are very short in the length. So we will see how to remove those. These are also very short. So how to remove those? So I will say return, delete the existing meshing, and then we will remove those. So I'll go to remove it, go to geometry quick edit panel, or go to press F11 from your keyboard. Select the replace point option and replace this point with this. Similarly, replace this point with this. Similarly, this is also very short distance, so you can replace this point with this point. So these are the some features because of which the elements quality is not getting proper, even with with removing the fillets and pinholes. Also, there are some fixed points on my model, so I will remove those fixed points. So I will go to add remove points, press shift mouse button, right click and drag a window on the GUI to remove the unnecessary fixed points. You can see here it removes the unnecessary fixed points. So in this way you can remove the unwanted split points. And now if we want to split the surfaces, that is also possible. So we will see how to split the surfaces to get a better mesh for my geometry. So go to nodes to line. So we can split this from this point to this. Again we can split it from here to here. Similarly, from this point to this point to this. So in this way I have splitted the geometry. These are the options available to split the geometry to get a better mesh. So my software will get a proper area to do the meshing. You can also continue the splitting up till end. And then again we will go to 2D AutoMesh panel. Click on the surface displayed and say mesh. Return. Again check the element quality. So now you can see by just changing some of the features of my geometry, all the elements which are failing is now been getting properly meshed with the AutoMesh panel. So now the minimum length is coming as 1.17. So these are the different options available to edit the geometry, which is very important. Sometimes during the meshing, the geometry plays a very critical role. If the geometry is not proper, your mesh will get also affected due to the geometry. So these are the different options available in HyperMesh to edit the geometry to improve the mesh quality. So I'll click new and we'll move to the next tutorial, that is the AutoMesh panel. So in this tutorial we will see how to mesh all the surfaces at once, specifying the different element size and element type. Then we will see how to change the element density along the surface edge, how to check the element quality and change the mesh pattern by changing the mesh algorithm, how to preview the mesh on all the unmeshed surfaces, how to change the element type and node spacing, that is biasing along the surface edge, how to remesh the surfaces. So these are the points which we will see in this tutorial. So I will open a model for this. So this is my model in which I am going to show you how to do the meshing. So first of all we will see how to mesh all the parts at once using the element size say of 5 and mixed type, that is quad and tria. How to do that? So to do the meshing, go to 2D AutoMesh panel or press F12 from your keyboard, that is the shortcut of it, shortcut of 2D AutoMesh panel. Click on the surfaces and say all, so it will select all the surfaces. Select the element size and specify it as 5. Select the mesh type as mixed, so it will create a mixed and quad and tria mixed element types. Select the automatic to interactive. Then ensure the elements to surface / element to current component toggle is set to elements to current component. So this one is set to elements to current component. And click on mesh. So this will mesh the entire surface. As you can see, at once you can mesh the entire surface. If I off the geometry, this is the meshing. This is the 2D mesh for the entire surface. Now how to delete the elements, that also we will see. So to delete, go to delete all and delete the elements. Now we move to the different option, that is we will mesh the surface having only the one surface will mesh. So again I will go to 2D AutoMesh panel, select that surface, and click on the mesh. Then it moves us to a element edit or the mesh edit panel, from where the first panel density, from this adjust, we can manually adjust or change the number of elements on particular nodes or particular edges. With this second panel we can change the element size. Currently we have mesh with 10, so if we click on recalculate all and say mesh, so it will change it to element size 10. Similarly we can change it to element size 2, or if you want some particular edge to be changed, so it will change some particular edge too. So in this way it will change the mesh quality. Then to change the mesh style, that is also possible in the mesh edit panel. So from quad to, you can convert it to tria and say mesh, so it will get converted into tria elements. If you want R trias, set to all, say mesh, so it will get converted into R tria elements. So in this way you can change the mesh element type after doing the meshing itself. Then we will see the biasing factor, keeping the number of elements same, but doing the biasing will help me to get the higher number of nodes and element at some particular point. So let's suppose during my analysis I get that this particular zone comes under the high stress zone. So now how to get a good mesh or the dense mesh here? So you can just change it to say 3, we'll see how dense it is. So it's moving to this side, so I will make it -3 and click on here. Again we'll click on here. If we click on mesh, so you can see this is quite dense. If I increase the intensity to say 10, you can see this portion is getting more number of elements, and these are getting less number of elements. Similarly, if I increase to 20, 20 is the maximum. So you can see this one is getting the higher number of elements this side. Similarly, from here itself you can check the element types, qualities of the element. So warpage angle, aspect ratio, minimum angle, there are no chord elements, so only the tria minimum angle, tria maximum angle, length and Jacobian. So these are the parameters you can directly select from these panels. So if I click return, so I have clicked to reject. As you can see, the yellow color edge is showing here, so it is perfectly okay because it's a T junction. So now I will show you how to do the meshing and how to figure it out, the unmeshed surfaces. So if you do the meshing of say some parts like these, some parts you have done the meshing. If you are working in a bigger assembly, there are lots and lots of surfaces, so you keep on doing the meshing. Sometimes some surfaces get missed out during the mesh, so how to find it, those surfaces, and how to do the meshing. So I have done the meshing on this part. Intentionally I have left some components or some surfaces. So how to check those which I have left out? So click on this unmeshed, so it will highlight that 2 surfaces are not meshed, so you can directly mesh those surfaces which are not meshed. So just you have to click on unmesh to mesh the remaining surfaces which is not meshed. Also during the quality checks, if you find some of the elements with a poor quality and if you want to remesh that already meshed component, so that is also possible. So just click on the drop box and from instead of surface, select elements on the same panel. Select any portion which you want to do the remeshing. Like for the entire domain, if you want to remesh, you can select the entire surface. From chord, I want to convert it into trias and say mesh, so it will get mesh. You can see here the meshing is converted now into trias. Similarly, if I want to change the size of the elements, so I can enter as 2 and say R trias. Keeping all the parameters as it is, I will say mesh. So now I got a mesh of R triads with element size 2. Even without deleting the existing mesh, I have changed the mesh type and mesh size. So after the meshing also, you can change the mesh type, or at the particular zone also you can change it. Like I will show you, I'll only select this particular zone. And make this as quad of length say 10 and say mesh return. So in this way you can see the meshing of this particular zone is changed with the element size of 10 and mesh type as quad. So that is also possible. So you can at any point you can change the element type, element size with the 2D AutoMesh panel. Now we'll move to the other tutorial. I will say new. Now in this tutorial, the next one, we will see what are the options available in HyperMesh to do the meshing even if we don't have the surfaces. So in this tutorial you will learn the basic concept of surfaceless meshing and how to mesh a bracket. Surfaceless meshing is defined as the creation of mesh using points, lines and nodes rather than surfaces. Some parts may have missing surfaces and some parts may not have any surfaces at all and are instead defined by lines data. Either way, a mesh still must be created. HyperMesh has a number of panels that allow you to create a mesh based on geometry other than surfaces. So we will see what are the different panels available in HyperMesh to do the meshing even if we don't have these surfaces. So I will again open the next file, bracket.hm, which contains the lines. So if I click on this, you can see there is one surface at the bottom. So I will delete that surface, go to delete. From the drop box, I will select the surface and delete it. So this model contains only lines. If I change the color, so you can see here. So now I will show you the different panels available in HyperMesh with which you can do the meshing also. So before starting the mesh, as you can see that this there are 3 bold location, 2 are having washer and 1 is not having the washer. So first we will create a washer for this. So a line surrounding with the same dia. So for that we need to first find out the length or radius of these 2 circles, so that accordingly we will create the circle for the third hole. So I will go to geometry, nodes and click on the 4th option, that is interpolate, extract parametric, and enter the number of nodes to be say 5. Select this line and say create, and select this line and say create. So now I have created the nodes to find out the distance. Then I'll press F4 from my keyboard to measure the distance, but I want a center of that circle to measure the distance. So I will select the 2 nodes at the circumference of the circle and click on nodes between. So I get a center node. Now again from the F4 panel, from this end to this end the distance is 3, from this to this the distance is 6, the radius is 6. So I need to create a circle who is having a radius of 6 mm for this one, so that all the 3 will be symmetric. So I will press Shift F2 and clear the temporary nodes. Then again I will press F8 from my keyboard, that is the shortcut of nodes panel. Select this line and say create to create the 4 nodes. Press F4 from my keyboard, pick these 2 nodes and say node between to find the center node. Now to create a line we have 2 options. One, we can use the line panel, go to circle select the node, select the axis on which I want to create the circle and enter the radius and say create. So it will get created. And the other panel is go to 2D, sorry, go to tools, scale, select the node, sorry, select what you want to scale. So I want to scale this line, say duplicate original component, select the node for the reference, and in all the three directions uniformly I want to scale it and say scale positive. So there are two options available in Hypermesh to create the circle for the geometry, as you can see. So now I got the three concentric circles. I will cross check it whether it is having the dia as 6 mm or not. So F8 from my keyboard and you can see the distances. Sorry, radius as 6 mm. So shift F2 and clear the nodes. Now I will start the meshing using only the lines panel. So go to 2D page. In 2D page there are different panels available to do the meshing, 2D meshing, even if you don't have the surfaces. So first of all we will start with spline. In spline we will select mesh without surface, select these two lines and say mesh, or we'll say mesh delete surface and say create. So it will create a mesh. So I will create a equal number of elements. Similarly for this and for this. Similarly for these two. So in this way I have meshed this model using only lines. Also with the mesh without surface, I will select these lines and do the meshing. Sorry, mesh delete surface and say mesh. So this will help me to create the elements with the proper connectivity. So this is the one option. Then the second one is ruled command. So in the rule command, I will select lines, and also here for the lines, I will select mesh without surface, pick this line, click on the second and select the second line and say create. So with this you can see it will create a meshing the elements with the rule command. With the nodes to lines also you can create it. So in the one way I will select the nodes. So I have selected the nodes at the one, and at the other I have selected the lines. So it created the lines here also. So I will say reject. Then we will see a different command like skin command. Say mesh without surface. Pick the two edges or two lines to create the surface or meshing. So you can see it has created the mesh. Or you can select these two lines also. To create the meshing. Then there is one more command available in Hypermesh, that is line drag. Select the line which you want to drag, along which line you want to drag. By this time we will select mesh keep surface and say drag. So mesh keep surface will create the surface as well as meshing both. So if I off this meshing, you can see it created the surface, but rest of the meshing patterns doesn't create the surface, but they created the elements. So these are the some options available in Hypermesh which is used to create the meshing even if you don't have the surfaces. Okay. So I will click new, and now we'll move to the next tutorial, that is how to do the meshing in curved surfaces. There are some interesting options available in HyperMesh to do the meshing in curved surfaces. So we will see that. So create a mesh based on element size. In this tutorial we will see create a mesh based on element size, then mesh a set of surfaces using maximum deviation parameters, reduce the maximum angle parameter, increase the maximum element size parameter. So that we will see how to do that. So again I will open HyperMesh, one more model to see the chordal deviation or meshing in the curved surfaces. So to do the meshing in curved surfaces, we will again go to 2D AutoMesh panel or press F12 from the keyboard to enter to AutoMesh panel. From here I will select surfaces. From the drop box I will select surfaces. Select the surface type as automatic. Enter the element size as 15. Set the element type as chord. Click on the surfaces and select by collector and check the box use size and say mesh. Select it and then click on mesh. So this is the first meshing with the basic parameter, you can see. Now we will see if we change the parameters, then how the meshing changes. So now we will select edge deviation instead of size and bias. Select the minimum element size to 1, maximum element size to 15, maximum deviation to 0.5 between the two element range, and the angle, the maximum angle to be 90 degree, that is the angle between the normals of the two elements. Then click on the surfaces, by collector, select the second one, deviation control, and click on mesh. So you can see by changing just the sum of the parameters with the AutoMesh panel, I am getting a good mesh along at the fillet region. You can see here higher number of elements on the fillets. All the curved surfaces are getting the good number of elements, so they are capturing the feature more accurately. Then we'll move to the next one. I'll make it to surface component, not the current one. So by collector, this time we will select control angle, keeping all the parameters as it is, just changing the size, maximum angle to 20 degree and say mesh. So you can see if I change the angle, so it captures the features higher than the previous one. So previously it was creating 3 elements along the fillet, but now just by changing the angle, it is creating more number of elements along the curvature. Lastly, we will see elements by collector, maximum size control. We will change the maximum size to 30 and say mesh. So you can see it creates the bigger elements along the surface, planar surface, and smaller elements along the fillet regions. So it deviates as per the range which I provide. So if I off this meshing, you can see by changing some of the parameters, you can have a drastic change in the meshing, that is with even with AutoMesh. So it is it's not always that you have to go with the manual meshing. there are some good panels available in HyperMesh through which you can create a good quality of mesh by changing some of the parameters even in the AutoMesh panel. So these are the different options available. So I will click on new, say yes. Now lastly we will see how to check and edit the mesh. In this tutorial I will going to see identify the shell elements connectivity problem, correct shell elements connectivity problem, review the model shell elements to ensure connectivity problem were corrected, remesh the elements along the ribs, so that we will see in this tutorial. So I have already meshed file with me. So we will see how to check the elements quality connectivity for the 2D meshing. So my model is ready for the analysis. That is the last portion after geometry editing, meshing and quality checks. My model will be ready to perform the analysis. So we will start with the connectivity check. So to enter to elements connectivity, to find out the elements connectivity, go to tools, edges, or press shift F3 from your keyboard. From the drop box, select elements, select all the elements, enter the tolerance value as 0.1, click on preview equivalence, or say before that, edges, elements all, and click on find edges. So if I off this shells, so you can see logically the edge should be along the end of this component, but the edges are showing here also. If I change the color, you can see. So these elements are not connected. So if I apply the force somewhere here and constraint somewhere here, so it will not get transferred through this because it is not connected. So we'll ensure, always we should ensure the elements connectivity has to be proper. So we will delete it. So elements all, we'll click on tolerance value as 0.1, that is the gap between two nodes. Then click on preview equivalence, so it will pick all the nodes which are not connected and say equivalence. So it will get connected. Then we will click on find edges to see that the edge should be along the end of the geometry or not. So yes, now my edges are at the end of the geometry, you can see here. So this is now perfect. So that is more important. So that all the edges should be at the end of your geometry. Then we will see how to check the element normals and adjust them to same direction. The element normals are very important when you apply the pressure, because if you apply the pressure and if you apply the pressure and if the element normals are not in the same direction, then it may be possible the pressure you apply will act differently. So how to check the element normals? So go to tools, normals, or press shift F10 from your keyboard to enter to the normals panel. From the drop box, select elements, shift left mouse button and drag to select it, and say display normal by color. So you can see these elements are having different normal and these are having different. So to adjust the normal, I will select any one and say adjust normal. So this element and adjust normal. So all the elements will get a normal along the same direction. So it has to have, all the elements should have a proper normals along the uh, along the all the elements. Then we will see how to review the quality of the elements using the check elements panel and how to improve that. So I will click return, go to tools, check element panel, or press F10 from the keyboard. That is the shortcut of it. So firstly we will check for the Jacobian. So you can see the Jacobian value is coming as 0.53. So my elements are getting filled in the Jacobian. So how to improve that? So in aspect ratio, no elements are failing. So my elements are getting filled in Jacobian. Now we will check for minimum angle tria and maximum angle tria. Minimum angle quad, so two elements are failing in minimum angle. So these are the two angles which are getting filled. And in maximum angle also they are getting filled. So in the rib pattern, in the rib portion, some of the elements are getting filled. So now we will see how to improve the elements along the rib pattern to improve the elements quality. So I'll go to 2D auto mesh panel. From the drop, select the size and bias. From the drop box, select elements. Select any one element and say by face to select all the elements on that particular face. Then enter the element size as 5, mesh type as mixed, and say mesh. But make it as interactive. And check the Jacobian value. Still it's showing 0.65. So I will change the density here. Again I will check it. Again I will change some of the densities like this. Again click on check. So now in this way you can see my elements quality is improving and the minimum Jacobian found is 0.6. Earlier it was 0.4, so I've improved it from 0.4 to 0.6. So in this way you can, by remeshing the elements, you can improve its quality. Also now you can smooth these elements flow. So to smooth the element flow, press Shift F12 from your keyboard. Select the elements and click on smooth, so it will get smoothed. So you can increase the number of iterations. So the flow will get automatically smoothened. Now we will see how to remove, as we have discussed in the theory portion, that the trias should be avoided along the corners. So how to remove these trias? So there are two options. First is you can go to elements, select these elements, and it is not getting, if it's not getting converted, you can go to press shift only F6 from your keyboard. Press F6 from your keyboard, go to split. From the drop box, select the elements, select the point and create a split line. Click on reject, select these, and say split. So it will get splitted, and then you can combine these two elements. So now you can see I have removed a tria on that edge, and I can also smooth it down. So you can see the flow, I have maintained it properly. Also, if you missed the washer on that some particular hole, then also you can get the washer even if you missed it. So how to create the washer, for even if you missed it. Also, there is one more option available in Hypermesh to improve the qualities. So you can see that is 2D. On 2D page, there is one more option as quality index to improve the qualities by just clicking on the elements. You can see these are the failing elements. So if you just click on it, the quality will get improved. So you have to see the fail elements only. So no elements are failing here. So to create a washer here, go to view, you have to on utility. So I'll go to utility in files. If utility is not there, go to files, browser, Hypermesh, and check box the utility. So it will get highlighted. On utility, go to geometry/mesh, select add washer from the utility menu. Select a node and say proceed. Then it will open a new window. It will select all the nodes accordingly. So the number of layers specify as 1 because we want to create one layer only. Enter the scale factor as 3 and click on add. You can also change it this one also. So add washer, say proceed. Width say 3. In density field enter 12. Say add and close. So in this way you can see it has created a washer around that hole without the requirement of geometry also. So you can add the washer if you want on the FEM model. So in this way I have ended this training session, the third training session. If you have any queries, feel free to ask us at edu-support@india.altria.com. The next training session will be informed you shortly. Thank you very much for attending this session.